This is a Glassbox Media podcast.
Yeah.
The worst. Oh my God. So I know that you're not on Twitter that much.
Not that much. I get on whenever I think of something quippy to say and then I get off immediately.
Well, there's somebody I follow like retweeted this thread. I was dying. Somebody posts, recently found out my ex had been cheating on me for the past 5 months. So here's a picture of him crying like a child when I found out and left his ass.
Oh, I love
LMFAO
it.
Gets me every time. Look at this fucking picture.
God, I love it.
Full on. This like
he's having a tantrum.
A tantrum. So then the whole thread, people start replying with their own pics.
Oh my God, this
their
is amazing.
own pics of guys like being like throwing tantrums, and then people start photoshopping him doing other things. You have
so
to
good.
The internet is gold. This is why the internet was invented.
This is why it exists. This is amazing. We should post this on our Instagram. We should save it and post it on our Instagram so that everyone can see.
Funny.
Because look, man, your actions have consequences.
Yes.
You can't just be a piece of shit and then act like
have a fucking tantrum. Have you had that though? Have you had like a boy tantrum before? Have you guys experienced that?
You know, I think I talked about this when we were talking about what's love got to do with it. I talked about it last week on the main episode, where my boy tantrums were less crying and more punching walls. So it was like equally as bad, but
and juvenile
in a different way.
I had a wall puncher back in the day too.
Actually, I did have
I
a
think
guy.
We've all had a wall puncher.
I did have a guy curl up in the fetal position on the floor and cry once.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
that's
that
a boy.
story been?
That's a
There's
boy tantrum.
Hashtag boy tantrum. Started it here.
Oh my God. No, I'm trying to think. I don't feel like I've had a boy tantrum. I feel like that's something you have to go through in your 20s. Because I experienced it with like a 40-year-old adult male, let me tell you, there's no coming back from that.
I mean,
I don't think I would
here's
ever
the thing.
be
It's
able.
like men are allowed to have emotions. Okay,
Yes,
it's okay
absolutely.
to like have emotions and be
Please
sad
do, in
or
fact.
cry. Yeah, like all of that's all right. It's just like you cannot. This picture, we're gonna have to share it because this picture is so like he's upset. He's throwing a fit.
You know what? Share it to our group so it's up now, so people can be like, they'll know.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
fucking
No,
good.
I definitely will. And
face.
what kills me is as you get further down, other people start posting their own. So like it becomes this big thread of like male tantrums.
I
solid
just
gold.
love it that the petty level of like taking your phone out to take a picture is amazing. Like during this fight, like that is some badass bitchery that I wish I could. I aspire to be that
Me
kind of
too.
person. Like
I
that's amazing.
Cannot stop laughing about it.
It's literally solid gold. It's perfection.
Yeah.
Speaking of tantrums,
Yes.
this actually reminds me of that because I think there's nothing that I feel is more tantrumy than the guy that doesn't want to use a condom.
Oh my God.
Right?
Get over it.
Kelly from Boobies and Newbies posted in our secret Facebook group this amazing piece that was in 1996 Cornell Women's Handbook, and it was condom comebacks. And I fucking am here for it.
Every woman should be armed with this. It should be folded up and put in your wallet.
Absolutely. It's excuse and then come back. And I just want to go through them because they're fire. They're fucking fire.
They're so good.
It doesn't feel good. Neither does sleeping alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is truth.
Maybe you should try a next size down. Oh, that is the fire that I'm here for.
Nobody wants to go digging tonight.
Oh,
Dude, let me show you this. I've been meaning to share it to our group and I haven't done it yet, but you guys are going to laugh so fucking hard. So this woman shared a series of pictures and it said, this guy I'm going out with told me he doesn't use condoms because he's too big for a condom. So I sent him these pictures. She's got the condom on her head. She's got it all the way up her arm. Yes. Oh, fucking hilarious because she's got it pulled down. She stretched the condom out and it's pulled down below her nose. Her entire head is in the condom.
If your penis is bigger than that, then we are having
Then we're not having sex.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
Yeah, sorry. Like,
if your penis is bigger than my whole fucking, it's like on her whole fist all the way down her arm. I'm like, nah, son, you ain't that big. Because if you are.
Yeah,
you are not a human.
Please don't flatter
you're
yourself.
actually a horse or something. I don't know. Like an elephant. The fuck out of here.
I've never seen an elephant dick. I don't know how big an elephant is.
I know. I'm being awfully presumptuous. What if they're real tiny in comparison?
I feel like they're big. I feel like I've seen an elephant pee at the zoo before, and I was like,
yeah, and it's like a fire hose.
I hate this. Oh God,
Why are
I
we
hate
talking
this.
about
I don't know, but it's just put in it just fucking threw me back to like middle school when we went to the zoo one time.
Yeah,
and the elephant was throwing shit. Like literally throwing shit into like the crowd of people. And I just remember, I feel like they're
power
like
move.
It was hitting like people from my school.
That's
and
a power move. I love it. I love it that elephant did that. I love it. It's like, fuck you guys. I don't want to fucking be here.
Yeah, exactly.
The fuck out of here.
Taste my shit.
Yeah. He's like, eat shit, motherfucker.
Because elephants are like really smart. So like he definitely knew exactly what he was doing.
He was like, oh, you're popular, huh? I got you, fam.
And knock you down a peg.
Not anymore, Amber. You're done.
Whatever, Addie.
How do you come back in sixth grade from being covered in elephant shit at a field trip?
Dude.
No one's got that kind of self-esteem.
No one. No one. No one.
It's like Colleen getting thrown up on at a freaking assembly. I was like, enjoy not being popular for at least the next 6 months.
Right.
While we all make fun of you.
God, school was brutal.
It was.
School was brutal.
Never would go back.
Yeah.
I love people who are like, we go back to. I'm like, I wouldn't. No.
You know what?
No.
I didn't hate school so much actually because like I was so social that I enjoyed that aspect of school. Listen. I enjoyed that aspect of school, but I do think that there's something very, very sad about people who peaked in high school where it's just like that was the best time of your life. Like that is sad. If that was the best time of your life, like God,
make better choices.
Yeah, yes. Where do you go from here? Just hang it up, call it a day.
Yeah.
Like really,
for realsies.
Yeah, peaking as high school is the worst.
Speaking of high school, I was bawling yesterday when I saw that video of that high school coach hugging the school shooter.
I saw that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I saw that.
What?
So there was a kid, I think it was in Oregon.
Yeah.
You can see the surveillance footage. He goes into his school. He's got a shotgun like underneath a tarp or whatever. And he goes in and he goes into the bathroom. And then you see the coach go into the locker room. And then the coach went into the locker room. And then you don't see anything because there weren't any cameras in there. And I guess he was trying to shoot himself with the shotgun. And you see the coach, like he's got the gun and he's holding it out and somebody comes and gets it and takes it away. And then the kid comes out and he just grabs him and holds him.
Like
and
hugs him.
And you can tell he's talking to him and he's like whispering in his ear and the kid like hugs back like tight. Like it's so,
my God, goosebumps. Yeah.
It's so
I watched
amazing.
it like 3 times because I'm like, that kind of empathy and compassion, you just don't see it that often anymore. Like our feeds, our media, all that stuff is so filled with like vitriol and hate and arguments and stuff. And just to see that true expression of empathy and compassion towards another human being, like so moved me this week. It was so fucking moving.
Yeah, and
that guy's a hero.
I watched the interview. There was an interview where he was talking about it, and he was like, I was just telling him that like he's important and like he has something to live for, and like it's not worth it, And then like watching the kid hug back is the thing where it's just like that kid just needed a fucking hug.
He needed this,
like he needed somebody to see him.
It
like
sucks
that's what he
that
needed.
I had to get to the point of that.
Yeah.
If we could just see each other on a regular basis without having to go to an extreme.
Yeah. It's hard though. We live such a digital removed existence. Like we're so lucky. I think about the weekend that we had, and Handyman and I were talking about it this morning. He's just like, you guys just hung out last night.
Yeah. And we're here for it again.
Round two.
And he's like, you guys are just tonight. Like sitting around just talking, just like, and we have that kind of like face-to-face interaction. And
Thank
he's
God.
like, it's so rare.
It
you
is.
know, I feel like people must feel very isolated these days.
People do. I mean,
Find
they
your
said
tribe.
they really did. I was listening to something or watching something where they were talking about how Gen Z, like their issues are not related to like drugs, whereas like, you know, millennials had a drug problem and like, you know, generations before that was a lot of the big issues that teenagers were experiencing. It's less that and more depression. Like depression is on the rise because they're the most isolated generation, even though we have the most connected. We're the most connected we've ever been because we can communicate constantly.
That's because text is
but
not
we're alone.
communication.
Can I be honest with you? So my son's in town. He's 22 and he went out last night with us and he went out last weekend too. I have seen, and he deals with depression and, you know, takes medication for that and everything. It's actually something I've talked about on here before. And he has blossomed, like I think coming out with our friend group. And well, he fucking loves Anthony first and foremost. Like first and foremost, he fucking loves Anthony. He is the happiest I've seen him today, from waking up at 7:00 in the morning to go watch Anthony play soccer today. Like you can feel the happy. And it is I think the difference is having people that, and even myself, when we lived in Columbus, like especially in the wintertime, it gets fucking lonely. Your only connection with people is usually with social media. You don't have the opportunity to go out on a regular basis because the weather is not necessarily permitting. But I just also felt like people didn't want to go. I don't know, like you just gotta find your place, find your tribe, find your people, and get out there. And I know that's difficult.
There's got to be some sort of study or something that shows like areas of your brain or something that light up, or some kind of chemical that's released when you're actually face to face.
There's got to be
versus through Facebook or through some sort of digital media.
Well,
I guarantee it doesn't light you up.
Yeah, there have definitely been studies that show that your brain does get rewired through isolation. Like if you're like alone a lot of the time, and I'm sure that it does something, it lights something up to be communicating on the internet, but it's not the same thing as you're still alone a lot of the time.
Look at the way that cults control people.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it's not just isolation. It's isolating a group of people away from, you know what I mean? So there is some aspects of isolation. So absolutely. And you are, like you said, you're rewiring the brain in that mode.
Yeah. You're
still by
yourself. It's, so it's not really, it's being filtered. It's filtered communication. It's not like authentic or real. You know?
And so I think about that too with this like online dating thing. It's just like you can text somebody for weeks and weeks and weeks and then like show up on a date and be like, womp womp. You know what I mean? Because it's different. It's completely different face to face than
through how you present yourself online. Or
I think it will be interesting to see what the future generations who have been born and raised with this and didn't because our brains I think developed differently because we didn't have those options. Like when we were kids, we were outside playing all the time. Not to sound like an old person, but I do think that your brain, we got certain development from doing that like future generations who are constantly in front of screens from the time that they're born basically aren't going to have necessarily have that. Like they could have that, but they might not. It depends. Because I was sitting next to a woman. She was an older lady, and I was sitting next to her for a fitting that I was going to, and we got to talking. I don't know how it came up, but we got to talking, and then she was just like, yeah, it's so strange to me. Like all of us were sitting in here because there was like probably 5 people at first in the room. And she's like, all of us were sitting here on our phones, like not talking to each other. Yeah. And it made me put my phone away and talk to her because I was just kind of like, we should be forced to interact with other people. Like we should be in positions where we want to communicate with other people, and we don't. We have like a fear of
empathy, honestly,
of communication. Like it's so. And I have that fear. I don't like small talk. I don't want to talk to people if I can avoid it. I'm like allergic to people, you know. but we shouldn't be. Like we should be forced to stand in a line without a phone and have to like make friends and learn how to talk to people. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
But yeah, no, you should check out that video. It's something else.
Wow.
You're like,
so we have patrons, or we have a new patron.
a new patron.
So I want to give a shout out to our brand new patron, Cassi Murden. Welcome. We're so excited to have you. And
tell us what your shirt size is.
Yeah, tell us what your shirt size is so we can send you a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Because that is part of your patron rewards. I tried to see if on Patreon there was a thing that could like automatically ask that question.
Oh, yeah.
But I couldn't find anything that did that. But yeah, so like if you're interested in checking out our Patreon, go do it, because we have new levels and new rewards. And now that we have merch at the $25 level, you do get a t-shirt. So check it out. And Cassie, welcome to the fam. We're so excited to have you.
That makes me think. I'm so curious, because I think, you know, like when we were MFM listeners, still are MFM listeners, you know, people are always like, I'm such a Georgia, I'm such a Karen, and her name's Cassie. So I'm like, I wonder, like, I'm dying to know how people like
Identify.
Self-identify. What do you self-identify? Like, I would want the BuzzFeed quiz. However, I'm curious, you know?
Yeah.
It's always funny. And we were talking about this the other day. It's like funny to hear like how people relate to you or how they perceive you.
Yeah.
And the emails that we've gotten, like, oh, Cassie doing this, Keegan doing this, Christina telling me this. You know, I'm like, I like that. That's cool.
Well, I think what's cool about us, not to like toot our own horn, what makes us so amazing is that we're all very different.
Yeah.
Like we're very like honest. How many like quizzes and personality tests have we done, and never once have we gotten the same result?
Right.
Truly.
So I mean,
so are you a Slytherin, a Gryffindor, or a Ravenclaw?
Yeah. So. I mean, it's so I think that people can connect to any one of us on a number of different levels.
Did we talk about our Golden Girls quiz?
No.
I don't think we did.
We got to talk about that because it's fucking hilarious to me. Because of course we all self-identified, I think, a little differently than what we were. I am such a huge Dorothy fan. I think she's the snarkiest, bitchiest, and the best. And Christina, you're like, God damn it, I got Dorothy. And I'm like, lucky you, I got Blanche.
I know. I thought I was going to be a Blanche for sure, but I don't think I'm as like extroverted or out there as her. So yeah, I was like, man, I got Dorothy.
Well, now when you say it that way, I'm like, yeah, that is very me. I'm very extroverted. So maybe that is my Blanchness coming out.
And she's like a performer. She's like totally out there. So yeah.
She's flashier. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got Sophia.
I'm here for it.
Which at first I was like, I don't know about that. But then I thought about it and I was like, no, actually, Sophia is fucking hilarious. She's the sassiest.
She's definitely sassy.
That. She's got all the sass. And if you guys have never seen Golden Girls, like, oh my God.
What are
you doing here? Go
show.
watch Golden Girls.
Yeah. Stop.
First of all, stop listening to us and go watch Golden Girls,
and then come back.
And then come back later. Yeah, finish the episode. But Golden Girls is so fucking funny.
It is.
I used to watch it. And can we just talk about how incredible it is that there was such a successful show on TV that ran that long? That was like
so good.
4 older ladies. Like that's what the show was about.
It was brilliant.
Like,
how great!
It's amazing.
And the very first episode, I think. I don't know if you stayed on the show, but didn't they have a gay housekeeper?
Oh, I don't know.
They were living in like Miami or something like that, and they had a gay housekeeper.
Designing Women?
No. But that show was fucking
brilliant.
Brilliant too.
So good.
Sugar Bakers.
The reason we were looking at this is because we were talking about possibly doing different Halloween costumes, and I was like, how brilliant would it be to go to the Golden Girls, and then we got the quiz. But that made me start thinking, because I know we've all been the deep diving into what do we want to be for Halloween? I think I got it.
Oh yeah.
So you and I have been, Christina, I'm pointing at you.
Yes.
Everybody saw that.
Yeah.
Christina and I have been like binging and absolutely obsessed with country music. I know we've talked about it already. Country music, Ken Burns, the documentary is fucking incredible. If you have not seen it, go watch Golden Girls and go watch country music documentary Ken Burns.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, I want to go as Dolly Parton and I want to dress Chris as Kenny Rogers.
That's hilarious.
Or Willie Nelson.
God.
Willie Nelson. Could you imagine getting him the braids?
Hilarious.
You absolutely have to dress Chris as Willie Nelson.
I know. It's going to be so good. I love it.
I love it.
I love it. As Dolly, get that wig and just, I fucking love
just
Dolly
push
Parton.
those boobs all the way up to your collarbone.
All
the way to the top.
These tits go all the way to the top. That's what I think I'm going to do. So it made me think too, because I was like, country music has been on my mind all day. So I've been listening to country music. And then I was looking up that costume and I was like, we should do a fuck, marry, kill country music style.
Oh, okay. What you got?
Ooh, I don't know. I was thinking about it. I'm a big Waylon Jennings fan. I love, I think, I don't know. I don't know what direction. Should we go like more modern, like Sturgill Simpson and Chris Stapleton direction, or like...
No idea what these people look like, though.
Yeah.
If we did like the
Garth Brooks.
mid-90s ones.
Oh, my God. Garth Brooks.
Do you remember when he did that album?
Yes, where he's
as
Chris...
yes!
What was
What was his name? Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
Didn't he have a little
soul patch?
soul patch? And he had like And a he black
dyed the hair
No,
black.
he had like he had like Panic at the Disco emo hair.
Oh my God.
Before that was a thing. It was amazing. It was great.
Okay, so definitely
Okay,
Garth Brooks. Like Dwight Yoakam or something.
Oh, fuck yes, Dwight Yoakam. I had the biggest crush on him. He did not glow up, but goddamn.
Who else was like
Baby Me was
90s country famous?
We can't do Billy Ray Cyrus because we've already done him.
Who's Faith Hill married to?
Tim McGraw. There we go.
There you go.
There we go. Okay.
He hot.
Okay. We're gonna look up photos right
Yes,
now.
okay.
We'll cut all this out. So Tim McGraw. Here's what I know
Super
so
good
far.
looking.
Also faithful. Like
Yeah.
him and Faith have been together forever.
For a
they
million
tour
years.
together.
Well, and I'm terrified of Faith. Like,
Garth
did
Brooks
you guys
and
see?
what Trisha Yearwood have been together for a billion years
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that video? I think I've talked about this recently. Maybe I talked about it on the podcast. But like, did you see the video of that woman who like reached up during a show? Faith Hill and Tim McGraw were touring together, and she
And
like
she was
reached
like-
up and like touched Tim McGraw's ass or something like that. Faith Hill stopped the concert. And she went over
She
there.
cut
She got
her
the
arm
finger.
off.
She got the finger out, and she went over there and wagged her finger in that girl's face and was like, "Don't touch my husband."
Oh.
Yeah, like not today.
Not today, bitch. Not today.
I gotta
Faith
say,
motherfucking Hill.
I'm not liking these Dwight Yoakam pictures.
No,
I know you guys. I know. You know that my husband's mom.
Oh, but look at him back
whose
in the
birthday's
day.
today. I know. Back in the day. God
Look.
damn that ass. Ooh,
He's okay there. Yeah,
He was so hot. God damn, he was hot. So hot back in the day. So let's say,
But
okay,
he's doing
let's do
a
their
lot,
prime.
a lot of smizing.
I
There's
don't
a
care.
lot of like.
I don't care. He
It's
went
Blue
to school.
Steel.
So he went to school with Chris's mom because he's from
Shut
Columbus.
up.
Yeah.
Shut
He
up.
was
I
born-
didn't know that.
Born in Kentucky and grew up in Columbus, Ohio.
Do you know who he kind of looks like in this photo? He looks like the dude face that's married to Kristen Bell, Dax Shepard.
Oh my God.
In the
He
face.
does in that picture. That's weird. Yeah.
I am not no, I'm not into it.
Well, I already know what I'm going to do, I think.
Okay, you go
I
first.
think. Oh God, I don't know. I'm torn. First and foremost, Dwight Yoakam has been. If we're talking prime, we're going to talk in prime.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I know what I'm going to do now too.
I think I have to marry Dwight Yoakam. He's been on my to-do list since I was probably like way too young to have a to-do list. Shit. Who do you fuck?
You fucked Tim McGraw.
Yeah, he's the hottest.
Do you see these photos?
Yeah.
You fuck him now, then, and always. Good Lord. I'm like, I don't even like these kind of hats.
You're
but
right. You're right.
Holy crap, he is good.
You know what? No, I'm switching
looking.
it all up.
Huh. I'm speechless.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch it up. I think that.
Oh, here he is in not a cowboy hat. Look how cute he is.
I know he's so cute. God damn.
He's
Okay,
super
All right,
handsome.
I'm fucking a mirror. I'm mixing it up. All right, I'm marrying Tim McGraw.
Yes,
I'm
same.
going to fuck Dwight Yoakam, and
Same.
I'm going to kill Garth Brooks.
Yeah, no, you
Rodeo.
murder.
Bow,
him.
bow.
He seems soups bizarre. Have you seen the Tom Segura
He
stuff
does
when
seem weird.
when he's making fun of Garth Brooks, it is hilarious. It's so funny.
He is a strange man.
He's a strange person.
He's a strange man, but I can't get over how much Dwight Yoakum looks like Ron Howard's brother. Do you know who Ron Howard's brother is? Looks like this guy. Let me see.
I love him.
It's okay. It's okay, but this guy. Do you remember this guy, Ron Howard's brother? That's who Dwight Yoakam reminds me of, and I just can't. I can't do it.
It's kind of like if they had a child together, actually.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. I also have no emotional connection with him at all.
I get it.
And you know, as someone whose family is from New Mexico, just too many of those like ties with the
bolo ties,
bolo ties, and you know, I can't get on board.
I do believe Garth did a few of those too.
A lot of embroidery, and so it's a no from me. I'm gonna have to kill him. I am also gonna marry Tim McGraw because
duh.
Yeah. Like he's faithful. He's hot. He's still hot.
Hot.
He looks amazing.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm going to marry him. And you know what? It's gonna be weird, but I bet it's fun.
I don't.
One time, I'm gonna.
What?
I don't bet it's
what
fun.
is screwing Garth Brooks like? Oh my god!
No, I feel like he's into role play. Clearly.
Yeah.
He's gonna wear that emo wig.
Oh, I don't like it.
We're gonna have a good time. It's just gonna be a fun night, and then we never have to talk about it again.
Nope.
To anyone. I do feel like it's, for some reason when I look at him, I'm like, it is sweaty sex though. That's
he's
I
a
see
sweater.
that. He seems like
for
a sweater,
sure.
right? Yeah,
for
like,
sure.
And
he's somebody that's gonna do something really weird when he comes. Do you know what I
Oh, he probably has a wine.
mean? Yeah. Yeah. He's gonna do something
like
so
air going
weird.
out of a balloon.
I imagine it. He's like, this is so.
Or he like shakes or something, and you're like, Jesus,
Violently, yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, but you know what? I'll take one for the team and report back because I bet it's interesting.
I gotta know. I feel like our radar is spot on that though. What it's gonna be like.
Yeah.
So
I think we nailed it. I don't think we have to nail it. We nailed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oof.
Oh, but yeah, I'm here for Tim McGraw. Holy crap!
Dwight Yoakam though, when he was younger, oof.
He was pretty cute.
I just remember
he's
him
younger.
and those.
He
tight
did
ass
look good in a
jeans.
pair of jeans. I did see that.
Yeah, he's got a nice butt. We were talking about butts last night, weren't we?
We were talking about which kinds of sports players we liked.
Oh yeah,
and because I was saying that
Christina gave the hot take.
Yeah,
I like a baseball butt, and you don't. Yeah, I'm here for a good baseball pant.
Here's the thing with baseball. There is either the really hot, tight, high ass, or there's the bitch ass. And there really is no in between. There's literally no in between.
Yep.
And you know what I mean by bitch ass?
Yes.
Like from behind, that's a woman's butt. And then you're like,
but that's I'll tell you though, I think that that's not a point of attraction for me.
Bitch
I like
ass?
legs. No, like
butt.
You know how like some guys are like, I'm an ass man or I'm tit butt. You know what I mean? I'm like, butts don't do it for me.
Yeah. Chris has got a small butt, but he's got great legs.
Yeah. I
Chris
like strong muscular legs.
Trunks.
Mostly though, I think I'm a shoulders person.
Broad shoulders.
Like broad shoulders. Yeah. I
love a good schnoz. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
You know, I love a good schnoz. I love great legs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
I mean, I like a good butt is good.
Yeah.
You know, I like that. We always joke whenever we are watching the Super Bowl together that like Amy and I are just there to rate the butts in like, you know, tight
ends.
Spandex. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know that I really have anything that I'm like, that does it for me. Like,
what sports has the best body for you?
Ooh, you know, soccer players.
Same.
I think soccer players because
sure.
it's all over. Like it's just all
it's
over.
A lean machine.
Toned. Yep. Like I love swimmers too. If you like broad shoulders, swimmers are good for you because they got that like they really work the good. You know what I like is a good back. Locty. Actually, I like a good back.
Yes,
you know, like
yes,
you know, a muscular back is nice. I like that.
Overall, I think my number one trait, though, that I'm drawn to the most are eyes.
Me too. It's eyes.
eyes.
If I had to pick one thing, it would be eyes. And it's not like a certain color or anything. Like, I don't really care about
there's
that.
Like a spark
but
in it.
yes,
Where
if
you're
your
like,
eyes come alive, then I like that. I'm very drawn to that.
Yeah.
If they are dead,
I have met so many shark eyes.
I don't like that. I don't like dead eyes. And I don't like if there's nothing behind your eyes. Like if it just seems like, because I'm like, I want to see joy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, if I don't see
you can
joy.
tell a lot about somebody in that.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I also like an IRL, because this is a uniform that does not give any goods, is hockey. But in real life, because they're as active in the sport and they're constantly on the move and go.
Yeah.
Their bodies in real life are,
Yeah, you can't tell from their costumes or uniforms.
Their costumes don't give anything away. It's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Oh,
good.
by the way, this is my worst date.
We did that.
Did we?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I don't think
you
that we
did
did.
it.
You
No,
did.
I erased it.
Oh.
No, because that was before we
I
actually.
like on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Hey.
Well, hi. Yeah, hi guys.
Hey, hi.
Keegan.
I'm Cassie.
Yeah.
I'm Christina.
That was the worst one of those
Wow.
we've ever done.
And now we're gonna take 5 and be right back with stories.
And we're back. Hey.
Hey. All right. So I will kick us off. I will not read the subject line as it will give it away. She says, "Hello, guys. I was actually in the middle of listening to one of your episodes when I remembered this experience I had." Nice, like a recovered memory.
I love it. Mine's a recovered memory too. That's so funny.
I had just graduated from high school and just had my first heartbreak. I was on the prowl for something to take my mind off of this when I met James, not his actual name. James was an interesting guy. He was weird, but I like weird. I'm same. Give me some quirks, something unique
I'll
and
take
different.
weird over boring any day.
Oh, yeah. Amen.
Same. It depends on the kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, not shark eyes weird.
Or
Because
like
then I'm afraid I'm gonna get
pyramids or
skinned.
batteries.
Yes. Although, you know what?
Flat earthers.
I have to say, like, when I was in my like hungover haze on the couch this morning, I was so relieved that you guys texted and you were like, let's do it later. I was like, oh, thank God. I had an entire moment. I think sometimes have you ever had a hangover so bad that it like it's almost like existential? You get like really like in your head about things. And I was literally laying there with my eyes closed thinking like, we could be living in a simulation. I mean, what's to say that any of this is actually real?
This hangover is fake.
Yeah, you're like, maybe like, reality existence is relative. So we have no real way of
going
knowing
down the rabbit
whether or
hole.
not we're actually in a dream. And maybe someday I'll wake up.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
No, I get that. Those kind of feelings not hungover. So yeah, definitely. She says he, of course, didn't have a car, which I'm like, of course.
Of course. Apparently.
So I drove to see him all the time and drove us around everywhere. He seemed somewhat normal and I wasn't looking for anything serious. He had a big and outgoing personality, which I tend to get along with the most since I can be more of an introvert. We were talking about that last night. You were when you were talking about 2 extroverts getting married and how big the guest
be chaotic
list.
because the guest list is so big because usually there is an extrovert and an introvert in a relationship together. And Anthony and I are both extroverts. So, it can get wild real fast.
I'm definitely looking for somebody with like a more extroverted personality because I feel like an introvert and an introvert like slowly
you're
spiral
never
away.
leaving your house again.
Yeah, exactly. When we started to hang around my friends more, he would start to get kind of obnoxious by being loud or just saying jokes that weren't funny or appropriate. He also really liked to drop acid. Let me tell you what anxiety I get like bringing guys around the friend group because I'm like, don't fucking embarrass me. If somebody dropped acid to come and hang out with the friend group, I would crawl out of my skin and fucking die. I have nothing wrong with people wanting to do drugs every once in a while as long as they can keep their cool, but he just wouldn't keep his cool.
No,
I imagine it's kind of hard to keep your cool on acid.
Yeah, exactly. Like
especially if no one else is doing them.
And then you just become his trip sitter. Like you are just trip sitting for this person, where like you got to make sure they don't fucking like wander off a freeway or something.
Like, are we dating or are you just using me?
One night when me, him, and my friends all went camping, he decided to drop acid and was being so embarrassing and obnoxious. I ended up convincing him that we should go to bed. That way he would stop bothering my friends. The next morning, when we woke up, we were just talking in bed when he told me that he could make himself lactate.
Excuse me, what? Excuse me. Wait. Excuse me.
Oh my God.
Wait, what? What is happening right now? What is happening?
I was like, what the fuck? He asked if I wanted to see it. And I was just kind of weirded out by the whole thing.
I have to see this.
I don't think I do want to see it.
He ended up sitting on top of me.
No,
and making himself lactate over me.
Oh,
it was so weird. I couldn't even believe this was happening.
I'm so confused.
No wonder this was a repressed memory.
Okay, I want to know the science behind this. Is this even fucking possible?
I don't think so.
Do men have milk glands?
And if something like that's happening, I would suggest seeing a doctor. Because I think that might be a sign of something. Because that is not right. That's not right.
It's not right.
That's not supposed to do that.
I don't think so.
Also, the walls in the cabin were very thin, so all my friends heard this.
No.
Which just made him want to go out and show everyone his cool trick.
If you date someone who is doing this,
can't.
Oh my God.
I hate everything about what's happening right now. Everything.
We will never, if this happens to you, Christina, we will never let you forget about it. Ever.
And nor should you, because that is
I think
insane.
I think that she probably repressed it because if you do have friends that were there, they will not let you forget it. She probably moved out of the state.
Yeah, changed her name.
So she was like, you know what? I think we're done.
She burned that cabin to the ground.
Yeah. This is like the pinnacle of secondhand embarrassment. I was just like, oh my God. Because I literally put myself in those shoes and I'm like, I can only imagine what Anthony and Emerson would like come up with for like nicknames or like just
I hope his name's Mike.
So she says, I wish I had ended things there, but despite him being super weird, I kept seeing him because he was surprisingly really good in bed.
Oh no.
And again, I had just had my heart broken. Dude, we've all been stigmatized. It's I don't know. I don't know if I could. I mean, maybe secretly. If he was really good in bed, I'd be like, no. I broke up with that dude.
Anybody.
Oh, that guy? No.
I don't see him.
Don't
I don't
talk
see
to that
him
guy.
anymore.
What a fucking weirdo.
I told you not to talk to me in public.
She goes, I ended up breaking it off with him finally because he was relentlessly texting me about if I could find him acid when he knew I was at my grandma's funeral.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I am so concerned about this health right now.
Is that a side effect of acid, maybe?
Yeah.
Like, can we look that up?
God.
Is that like
does it make you lactate?
I need to Google this.
I'm gonna need to like WebMD some stuff.
how on demand too?
Yeah.
Like
I don't even know women who can do that.
how?
I mean, I'm sure that can.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm concerned. It made me think of that, like, what was that? That Meet the Parents. He's like, I have nipples. Could you milk me? Or whatever.
Oh my God.
speaking of secondhand embarrassment, I fucking hate
I
watching
have nipples,
those.
Greg. Could you milk me?
Speaking of secondhand embarrassment, I know that this is off topic and we don't usually do this in this portion of the show, but that video that somebody shared to our Facebook group of the guy who met his girlfriend.
Oh my!
How did we not talk about that?
God,
He's a kid, he's a teenager, and he met his online girlfriend. They'd never met in person, and
they've been texting back and forth
years.
for two years.
They'd been talking, which I know that because I've met so many people who did that in high school.
No one did FaceTime. No one did video.
Well, but I mean, I think they knew what each other looked like. But she got there, she roasted him out of the gate. She gets there and she's like, "You're shorter than I thought." And she's like, "I don't usually date guys who are shorter than me." And he goes, "My mom says I can still grow more." That part, when she. And the friend that's videotaping it makes them stand back to back to see who's taller.
I think it was his brother.
Oh my heart!
God.
Oh, it was, and it's so cringy. I wanted to cringe out of my skin. Okay,
Okay. So my story comes from us through an email, and the subject I am going to read because I think it's funny. I didn't think I had a bad date story until I heard the story about the girl crawling out the basement window. So,
yep. We're here to uncover all of your repressed memories.
We're here for you.
Dig them out.
So, ladies, buckle in. This is going to be a long email, but in my opinion, super worth it.
Great.
And she says, if we read this, don't mention her name. So I will not.
Ooh, juicy.
Okay. Now, the reason I'm typing this email, as the subject of my email states, despite being 30 and single, I don't think I have ever had a truly bad date. Then you mentioned a girl crawling out of the basement window, and I remembered a pretty fucking terrible date/relationship.
Ooh, relationship.
I love
nice.
it. I like what you did there. I see what you did there. That lasted for most of my mid to late 20s.
prime time.
Yeah.
So she said, when I was 24, I was working in a restaurant and fell hard for a coworker. We'll call him Chad. Well, we already know how this is going to end. Chad. Chad was funny, charming, sweet, and we had a lot in common. And after having dated mostly complete assholes before and after him, I was beyond smitten. Chad was a few years younger than me, and although I normally didn't date anyone younger than me because we got along so well, I overlooked this detail. We dated casually for a few months, but never became super serious or official because I was just about to move and I didn't know what I was doing with my life. She's like, in parentheses, I'm 30 and it's still the case.
Hey, I'm 37. Right there with you, hun.
I hear you, girl. We hear you. We hear you. The week before I was about to move, I found out that he had been dating someone else. And despite us being official or not being official or exclusive, I was still devastated. He apologized for me finding out the way that I did, blah, blah, blah. I moved and we didn't talk for a bit. But because we had some of the same friends, anyone who worked in restaurants in their 20s know what this is like.
Yep.
We saw each other occasionally and stayed in contact as time progressed. For the next year, Chad dated that same girl, let's call her Bethany, on and off. It was a super unhealthy relationship, and Bethany was even younger than Chad, and they both had a habit of cheating and lying.
Oh, great.
And often getting in like screaming matches, etc.
Sounds like early 20s.
It sounds like early 20s if I ever heard of it. Yeah. Chad was not the greatest human, so the two of them together was kind of a terrible combination. During one of their many breakups, Chad had blocked Bethany's number, and she went on to use a multitude of fake numbers to call and text him, as well as several email addresses to message him.
You know what? That's something I actually am so glad I've never done. And it's perhaps because I'm super lazy. I mean, I am petty, but my laziness supersedes that quality.
I am the same.
I've never created an email or a phone number in order to reach out to somebody.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. If there was an easier way to get back at somebody, I would do that.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I'm tired. So
that's why our group chat is called the nap for a reason.
I could be sleeping right now instead of getting on MSN and creating a fake email address.
I know. I
I'm not
can't
doing
even with that. That seems so laborious.
Yeah. Ain't nobody got no time for that, Bethany.
Honestly.
She's like, I'm not totally blaming Bethany or saying that she was always in the wrong. Homegirl needed some help, but it didn't help that she had become obsessed with a guy like Chad. So kind of fire and fire.
Yeah.
Well,
Gasoline
I mean,
and fire.
and just early 20s, late teens, the stuff you can convince yourself is okay.
Yeah.
Or normal in like situations like that. Like love, that kind of like infatuation, love, puppy love stuff can make you like crazy. Like it really can.
Absolutely.
You would do things that you normally would not do. Like maybe Bethany looks back on that as like such a shame receipt.
Oh,
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we've all
done stupid
I've
stuff.
definitely done stupid
I've
stuff.
done stupid stuff.
We had a whole
It's just
episode
like
about it.
lazy stupid
Yeah,
stuff.
same.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as obsessive necessarily. During that time of the multiple phone call numbers and email addresses, Chad and I had started dating again. I think the flags were there, is what I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
I think you.
Yeah, how they do one thing is how they do everything, and how he treated her was probably a good sign of how you would be treated.
Yeah.
But dude, I was in my 20s. I could change you.
Oh, I can fix you.
I will try to fix you.
Yep. We were out for dinner one night when Bethany would not stop texting and calling him.
Yeah, that's the other thing is you don't want to put yourself
Exactly.
I like now that I'm
flags were
older,
there.
I'm just like you do not want to put yourself in between those people. Like even if you for some reason were like, Chad, I can fix Chad. You can't fix Bethany, and now
Right.
you're in between Chad and Bethany.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a shit sandwich.
She eventually sent a few messages that she was going to be at his house whenever he got home that night because she needed to see him and would wait outside on his porch if that's what it took. To which Chad responded she should not go there and needed to go home. He turned off his phone and we carried on with our evening. After dinner, we made our way back to his parents' house where he, had a bedroom in the basement. We walked in the front door of the house and everything seemed normal. But when we reached the bottom of the stairs in the basement, he said, I have a really bad feeling. Wait here. I rolled my eyes and let him walk towards the bedroom door. He slowly opened it and turned on the light and exclaimed, what the fuck are you doing?
No.
Bethany was laying in his bed watching Netflix, wearing his clothes. Apparently, she had broken into the basement and made herself at home. I was in total shock. How did I end up in a Lifetime movie? Amen, sister.
Oh my God. That is a Lifetime movie.
For real. She's like, does this happen to people in real life? What the fuck? They argued for a few minutes and I told him he needed to call her parents, the police, or a cab to take her home. A few minutes passed and as they argued, and I offered to call the police, to which I heard her respond, oh, that bitch is here with you? I will kick her ass.
I wish a motherfucker would.
Please do. Oh, please.
I want to know
911.
I want to know where this is taking place.
Oh,
Like
Oof.
what city?
state?
Got
Yeah,
it.
I want to know where mom and dad are. If it's his parents' house,
Are
are
they
they?
go wake up mom and dad and be like, B-dubs, we need to get like fucking a better alarm system.
Yeah.
So now I'm clearly not about to get into a fight because, well, that's dumb. So, us too. Same girl, same.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah.
No.
Us neither. It's
No,
totally
no.
dumb.
Yeah. I laughed it off and again said, Chad, something needs to happen. I'll call the police or go wake up your parents. Let me know what you want me to do. He called a cab, but when it arrived, she refused to leave.
Yeah.
After a while longer, I finally decided I was over the situation. And if she wasn't going to leave, I was. I had been standing there for at least 30 minutes, which is probably 29 minutes too long. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Chad apologized.
I don't know. You know what? I'm lazy, but I am curious as shit.
too.
And
Exactly.
I will stand there to see how this is going to play out. Yeah.
I've got front row seats to.
Amen. Have you seen that tag on Facebook that's like, this tea is just hot dog water? It made me laugh.
That's exactly
That
what
is
this is.
what that is.
That's
You're
what
like,
this
that
is.
is hot dog water tea.
Chad apologized profusely, and I told him to just keep me posted and call me whenever. I left and went to meet up with a group of friends and eventually going home for the night. We spoke the next morning after he had driven her home and told her they were done for good. And he and I went on to date for a little bit longer until I wanted to make it official and exclusive, and he did not. Spoiler alert, Chad and Bethany continued their garbage can fire of a relationship for 2 more years.
Of course
until
they
he
did.
moved out of the state. Chad and I kept in contact for the next few years, including a trip in which I took to see him in his new city, which was half great, half terrible, because in the month between me booking my ticket and the trip, he had found himself a new girlfriend whom he did not tell me about until I was there. But we haven't spoken in about a year.
He's such a fucking Chad.
Man.
God damn it.
She said, thanks for taking the time to read this and everything you ladies do. Please keep up the good work. Also, please come to Chicago.
Oh, fuck.
okay.
Yes, we will.
You know
that
what?
was so funny. I'm like, I feel like that uncovered repressed memories for me.
Oh, good.
Actually, reading that story. That's fucking hilarious. We dated that guy in our 20s.
Oh, 100%. We forgave
so
much.
Forgive no bitch.
Nope.
Anymore. Yeah.
Well, I feel like this is very much a Who Raised You episode because it's just like, who the fuck? Like, I'm going to go wake up your mom and tell her about your behavior. Like, that's what I'm going to do right now. Chad, God damn it.
Mom, can you come in and shut the door, please?
Come in real quick. Okay. So, I'm not going to read the subject line because it will give it away. Hi, ladies. So glad to have found your podcast. It's oddly comforting knowing there are others out there who have had shitty dating experiences. I'll get right to it. I love it. She's like, we're going to jump right in. I was 19 and had just discovered dating apps. I matched with a guy who was a few years older, attractive, and eventually asked me on a date. I was still living at home, so we agreed to meet near him. I lived in the suburbs. He lived in the city. We decide that our first date will be a walk on the river. Cool. I don't like that.
That sounds like where you end up.
Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah. Like,
let me take you on a nice romantic walk in the woods by the river. No, thank you.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I get to the city and park in a garage, and he meets me there in his very nice car. I get in because I'm 19 and naive, and we head towards the river. Oh, I hate that. I hate all of that.
His name was Israel Keys.
No. Oh, God.
The walk was great. We were definitely vibing and things were going well. So well, in fact, that when he suggested we go back to his office that has a really nice rooftop with a great view, I said yes. We stop by the store, grab a few beers, and head to his office. I was pleasantly surprised at how nice this rooftop was. Beautiful view, pool, gym, the whole 9 yards. We picked a couch, drank our beer, and watched the sunset and had great conversation. See, it's sounding okay right now.
Okay, but yeah,
but I'm just
I'm
like,
on edge.
A river and a rooftop.
Yeah, these are
are dangerous places.
We have crazy in love like stories that have involved both
of these things.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
I'm like, that's why I'm leery of hiking. I don't want to go hiking with you.
I don't want to go to the
I don't
rooftop.
want to drive a long distance. Yeah. Then things took a turn for the worst. He wanted to show me the other side of the rooftop, which you had to walk through the inside of the top floor to get to. On our way over, he showed me the manicure room. Why does an office need that? I'll never know. And then the massage room. Where does he work?
Yeah. Are you
I'm
hiring?
also, I like this. Yeah.
He pulled me into the room and started to kiss me, which I was cool with. I liked him and wanted to kiss him too. After about a minute of kissing me, he pulls away and says, "Can we have sex?" I mean, thanks for asking, I guess.
That's actually, thank you.
My answer was no. Now he's flustered. He seems shocked that I denied his offer. I'm sorry, dude. We just met, and this is a somewhat public place, and I'm not down. Not that I needed to provide any justification for my answer in the first place.
Amen.
He then offered me money. What the fuck? Where the hell is this coming from?
Wow.
I'm totally blindsided.
Wow. Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
But how much?
You're like, do you have credit card debt? So, I mean,
I am out of a job.
yeah,
right now.
it honestly, like, how much? Like, and because it could be like, if he's like, oh, I got 50 bucks.
Yeah.
But
you can suck your own dick for that. Bye.
oh my God.
Sorry.
Oh my God. That conversation took a turn.
Sorry.
He calms down and we go back to the plan of seeing the other side of the roof. After a minute or so, he tells me he needs to go to the bathroom and will be right back.
Oh no.
I say,
She gets locked
okay.
out there.
5 minutes pass by and I'm starting to get a little nervous. Then 10, then 15. This is where I text my best friend and tell her what's going on. After 20 minutes, which is much too long, I realize he's not coming back after all.
You're locked outside.
I go inside and with dismay, I try to get on the elevator to leave. Fuck. You need a passcode to access the elevator. What the fuck do I do? Who makes an elevator like this? Where am I? I'm literally stuck at this office on the top floor. I'm in full blown panic mode. I'm pacing back and forth, fighting back tears. Do I call the police? My mom? Fuck. Then a lady walks out of the gym. She's getting on the elevator. A miracle. Thank God. I hop on too. I decide to go back to the parking garage of his office building where he parked his car just to confirm what I already knew. He's gone.
Wow.
Then it hits me that I have no idea how to get back to the garage where I left my car. I wasn't paying attention at all when we drove here in his car. At this point, my phone is at 4%. It's nighttime in a city I'm not familiar with, and I'm alone. Panic mode reinstated. I quickly try to think of anything I can remember that was near the parking garage that I can get directions to with my nearly dead phone. Luckily, I'm successful and I'm not too far away. I memorize the directions like a fucking champ because my phone will surely die, and I take off. I made it. I'm at the parking garage. I'm waiting for the elevator. This one does not require a passcode because it's a normal fucking elevator.
Right.
And I'm fuming about what just happened. The elevator doors open. Lo and behold, the only people in the elevator are two people I went to high school with, holding hands, clearly visiting the city for a date themselves. What are the chances of me running into this couple in a city with a shit ton of people after the atrocity of what had just happened?
Oh my God.
My God.
I look directly at them and say, I don't want to talk about this. They're very confused, but leave me alone.
Wow. Okay.
I get to my car, drive home, charge my phone, call my friend, let her know I'm okay, and tell her what an asshole this guy was and go to bed. The next morning, I send this douchebag a bitchy text telling him why that is entirely not okay to do and that he sucks. No response. Go figure. Hold on. We're not done.
Okay.
I was
like, good. Because I was like, before I would have left that office, I would have penned a missive because it's like, you want to leave me at your work, your job, your place of employment.
I will
you wanna
find your boss.
Me up. I'm sure I could find a way, like a Xerox machine, and just make copies of what a douchebag this dude is. Paper that office full of it. Ugh.
But okay, you're going to love this.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Fast forward 3 years.
Ooh.
I've moved to the city myself and decide it's a good time to try dating apps again. I match with a guy who looked familiar, but I didn't think too much of it. We start talking, and I quickly realize this is the same guy that left me to perish on that rooftop. He's using a different name. Really strange, but I don't say anything. Yet. It's time for revenge.
Yes. I'm so here for it. Oh my God. This is a Lifetime movie. This is
so excited right
now. Revenge tale. Oh, I'm so excited.
Okay.
I entertain him for a while until he asks me out. I say yes, we meet up, and after about 5 minutes of small talk, I hit him with, do you remember me? We've met before. He has no idea who I am. I go through in detail what he did that night. He denies everything and insists he would have remembered me. Okay, dude, you're wrong, and you aren't going to convince me otherwise. I lay into him about how terrible that was to do to anyone.
Nice.
He sticks to his denial. I tell him I need to use the restroom, and I get the fuck out of there.
Yes.
After this, there was weeks of texts and phone calls trying to figure out why I left. Was it not obvious? And how much he wants to see me again. He really liked me. Too bad. I ignored all of his attempts with the satisfaction of knowing I won. Then I get a message that sends me over the edge. He's once again offering me money. This time just to come see him.
Wow.
What? Number blocked. Goodbye forever.
Yes. How much?
And that, ladies, is my worst date. Love you all and hope you enjoyed.
Oh my God. I was so fucking here for it. Oh my God.
But you know how infuriated I would be if I got the opportunity to see this motherfucker in person and he denied that shit to me?
I wouldn't even have brought it up. I would have just...
I
would have just the revenge. No,
I'd have to bring it up because I would have to I have spent this is like the most ideal situation because like have you ever had a situation where you don't say something and then you go home and you think about what you would say to that person if you had the opportunity again?
Yeah.
She had the opportunity, had the time to plan it out.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I've just had too much experience with people who've done bad things to me to know that when you confront them, abusers are all very similar. And I know that this is a different situation, but like, for example, like we've talked, of course, about personal stuff, but
right.
I dated a guy who had a really serious drug problem, got sober and all this stuff. And he was like, and he started messaging me again, actually not that long ago, like a couple years ago, and was like, hey, how are you? Blah, 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 and all this stuff. And he was talking about all these things that he'd done and all the things like you do through the 12-step program and giving like,
making
amends and all this stuff. And I was like, wow, that's so weird that I didn't hear from you. And he's kind of like, what? I think that there's some people just can't come to terms with the bad things that they've done.
Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking through the whole thing is he's like, he didn't recognize her when he matched. I'm like, how much shitty stuff does this guy do that just didn't stay in his mind as like, oh, I did that really shitty thing.
It feels narcissistic.
It must be like so common for him to do shitty stuff like that.
And for him to throw money around like that says everything I need to know about his character and his personality and who this person really is as a human being. And you're right. How many times has he been doing these things? How many, who this person really is? That's why for me, when you say I'd have to confront him, for me, my pleasure would be to have the best date with him and fucking ghost his ass so hard, like, and walk out without any explanation and fucking block his number and just be like, because somebody that narcissistic would fucking implode.
Well, yeah, that's what she was saying. He spent like weeks trying to get her. Ugh, fucking brilliant. I love that story.
The right shoes can take an outfit from good to great, like Allbirds all-new Courier. Everyday style, timeless comfort, and supreme versatility. Elevate your supernatural style at allbirds.com today and use code SOCKSTYLE for free socks with your purchase.
We're moving in a new direction, moving forward, and moving beyond smoking. We are Altria, and our companies are leading the way in moving adult smokers away from cigarettes by taking action to transition millions toward potentially less harmful choices. As we move from being known as a tobacco company to being recognized as a tobacco harm reduction company, Altria is moving beyond smoking. Find out how at altria.com.
Are you guys ready? For another Lifetime movie.
Ooh. Hell yeah.
A story that's definitely, we've got a theme going on this one. So,
goddamn Lifetime movie.
This is crazy in love for reals.
Okay.
For reals. I don't want to like preface it by anything. I will say that it was kind of difficult to find a conclusive like timeline or all the information in one place that I wanted to find. But I did find a lot of information from Heavy had an article by Tom Cleary that had some like useful facts and stuff. And then there were just a bunch of articles in the OC Weekly and LA Times because this is local. So it takes place in Anaheim.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah.
I mean,
magic.
There's very little that's good that happens in Anaheim outside of Disneyland. Disneyland is the only piece of joy in Anaheim.
Aw. So
sorry, but it's true.
Yeah. Okay. So Michelle Hadley and U.S. Deputy Marshal Ian Diaz met in 2013 at a Starbucks. They were doing like a coffee date because they had met online and they hit it off. And it became this like whirlwind romance. Like she said, like within like 2 dates, he was like, I think I love you. I'm falling for you.
Fast food.
Yeah. They were in their 20s. It was moving very quickly. They had fallen for each other. So like it's later on that year where he takes her on a trip to New York and proposes. She says yes. They start planning their wedding for February of 2016. And then they start like looking for a home. So they find this condo and like Ian loves Disneyland so much. And she ends up getting a job at Disney.
Oh, perfect.
And so like it just seems like fairy tale.
Dream come true.
And they can go to Disney anytime they want.
Yes. And so they find a condo. It like overlooks, they can see the Disney fireworks like every day.
That's awesome.
That's
Yes.
nice.
So she puts down the down payment for the condo, $14,000 for it. She's like, this is going to be our home. We're going to get married, everything. Well, as soon as they move in, trouble starts creeping into the relationship. Things start to go south. It's like mid 2015, like that Valentine's Day. Apparently it is one of his fantasies to like have another dude be with her while he watches.
Okay.
Not kink shaming.
No.
She agrees to it for him, not because she's into it. And immediately, like the next day is like feels really ashamed about it. He doesn't handle it well. He kind of seems like controlling. There's a lot of fights or whatever. She finally just leaves the condo, shows up at her parents' door with nothing, just like what she had put in the back of her Jetta, and is like, I'm done. Like, can I stay here? And her mom's like, do you even need to ask?
Right.
Like,
Hi.
come
Yeah,
on.
of course.
Yeah, of course. So they obviously have a condo together, and that, she's put money down for. And so they end up having to get lawyers involved to settle like the property.
This sounds
dispute.
so familiar
I was
to
just
me.
thinking
I
the same
think
thing.
I saw this on a Dateline.
Dateline. That's what I was
think
just
did.
thinking.
It was a Dateline called Diabolical.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh my God. Yes. Okay. Yes. All right. Go ahead.
So they had to get property lawyers involved and just like figured out, exactly, a timeline. Basically, by June of that following year, like he had to either sell the condo and move out or like pay her back. It was like, this is how it's going to work.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, like he has gone back on the apps like almost immediately. So like they had broken up in like September of 2015. So by January, he goes on a first date with a woman named Angela and fucking falls for her right away. So they
Love
go.
bomb.
Someone's got a pattern.
Someone's got a pattern. Yeah, they meet at the beginning of January of 2015, and 3 weeks later, I think January 29th, they are married.
Oh, wow.
How do you get two people who will agree to that? You know what I mean? Like, how are there two people that's like, yeah, that's fine?
3 fucking weeks, man.
Wow.
That's fast.
Wow.
Soup's fast. I mean, she's cute and everything like that, but yeah, as you'll see, he may have wanted to wait
Puppies
a little
are
bit
cute too.
longer before making a big decision. But
If you got married, if you're living in my condo that I put the down payment like down for,
yeah,
with your
Yeah.
new fucking, I don't like that. I'd be pissed.
and soon after, she actually is pregnant with twins. She shows
shit.
She shows her fiance the sonograms. She shows her in-laws. Everything is super exciting. They're gonna have twins. The only bad side is she started to receive threatening emails. Now, the emails are like biblical in tone. They're super weird. They keep mentioning like vengeance from the daughters of God, and that they have like pictures of aborted fetuses on them and like all kinds of like crazy stuff. And obviously like Angela's super shaken. She's like, I don't know this chick and I'm getting emails from her. So she prints out a bunch of copies, goes and gets a restraining order. And then police go and talk to Michelle Hadley, who they're coming from. They have her email address and they're like, this is really not cool. Like, you need to move on.
I really hope that that's how the police were talking to her.
like,
this
hey.
is really uncool.
Hey, lady.
Easy. Back up.
Yeah, it kind of took on this tone of like, it was a little bit misogynist where they're like, you know what I mean? Like, you're being a crazy ex-girlfriend kind of thing. But the emails persist. They're gross. They're disgusting. Angela's really freaked out. But what becomes a really big issue is then someone hops on Craigslist and
Yes.
starts
I remember
replying
this.
to rape fantasies with the address of the condo with pictures of Angela saying, this is a huge fantasy of mine. Come and find me. Make sure, like, I will pretend to scream, like, make sure you fuck me. Like, I don't care if I'm like fighting back. You need to make this happen. This is a huge fantasy of mine.
Wow.
That is fucking terrifying.
That's so scary.
So scary. So people start contacting and showing up at the condo. And so they go to the police like right away.
Fuck yeah.
And Michelle is actually arrested because they're like, you're putting someone's life in danger.
Craigslist is a scary fucking place, dude.
Yes.
I sold, like, whenever I was in my early 20s, I sold something on Craigslist and I put my phone number on there.
Ooh, honey.
I got calls from a guy. He would leave me like obscene voicemails.
Oh, that's so
he
scary.
Left me like when I pick up, it was like heavy breathing and like just being like so gross. He called me constantly from an unmarked number. So I called the cops and they were like, well, we can't do anything if you don't know the phone number. So then I had to like contact AT&T and have them like they have ways to like reveal the phone number. So they revealed it, then I got it. And like, you know, it's funny that you were saying that like you wouldn't, because I fucking I called. I did to him what he did to me. I called him. I'd call, I'd hang up, I'd call, I hang up. I did it like 15 times in a row. And then eventually I sent him a text message that's like, you don't fucking like it, do you? When this happens to you, you thought you were protected. But I found your fucking phone number. You're a piece of shit. And then I blocked the number.
Nice.
And I still have it in my phone.
Nice.
I still have it as asshole in my phone.
Yes. Oh, here for that. Oh, I love it.
But yeah, Craigslist, scary place.
Yes. So like they arrest Michelle. They're like, they charge her with all this stuff. They set her bail at $100,000. So her parents like bail her out. And during that time that she's incarcerated, because it's like for a day or whatever before they're able to get stuff together.
Yeah, $100,000.
The email stops. So as soon as she gets out, though, the emails start right back up again. And all of a sudden, like there's a 911 call from Angela. You can hear it. She's like crying. She's really upset. She's like, someone just attacked me in my garage, and like they pushed my head against the wall. They choked me, and they're trying to rape me. So police officers go right away. They notice that there are more like posts on rape fantasy like stuff on Craigslist. They immediately like rearrest Michelle, and this time her bail is set for $1 million. They pile on charges like a mile long, and she's facing life in prison because they're like, it's only a matter of time. Like, she got attacked. It's only a matter of time before. And we told you this was uncool. You kept doing it.
We told you this was uncool.
This is totes uncool. You did it anyways. Now you're going to jail.
You know, I know where this is going, but it's kind of great, though, that the cops are taking it as seriously as they're taking it.
Because they usually don't.
Because they usually don't.
Well,
especially
it
with
probably helped that Dude Face was in law enforcement.
Oh, that's right.
Is a U.S. Marshal.
All right.
You know
that's
what
right.
I mean? Because he was the one. He was like pushing them. He was with Angela every step of the way with like trying to help her navigate, get the restraining order. Like, and he was like, what do we need to do to put this girl in cuffs tonight? Talking about Michelle. Like, this is so fucking unacceptable.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So she's in jail. Her parents are distraught. They're like, this makes no sense. This is not our daughter.
Right.
What is going on? And they're really distraught because they had put up the money for her bail the last time. And they're like, we don't have that much money. Like, we can either bail you out. We can come up with the money to bail you out, or we can use it for your lawyer.
Yeah.
And she's like, do it. Like, get a lawyer. Like, I will try to be strong here. And you see her, and she's like super like mousy and just kind of like, she looks like somebody
Bookish.
that would definitely not do well in prison. So yeah, she toughs it out, and she's in there while her parents like hire a lawyer who immediately starts looking into what the police should have probably done.
Did a little investigating.
Because I'm glad they took it seriously too.
Yeah.
But all it would have been is been like, let me see your phone. Let me see your devices. Let me check your sent mail.
Yeah. Let me check the IP address.
Yeah, the IP address. It would have been very easy.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the problem is it did take a minute to uncover because the addresses, the IP addresses were like sent through a VPN. So they were like,
right.
It was hard to trace. Yeah. It takes them months to trace because the department is doing it because they're pressing charges and they want to make sure that they came from Michelle so that they can nail her for trial.
Yeah.
And her lawyer is doing it because he wants to prove that it wasn't her. So it got two separate people like looking into it, trying to figure it out. Meanwhile, like, okay, so this happens in July. She's arrested. August comes. Someone was supposed to be pregnant with twins.
Mm-hmm.
September comes. She's not showing. Nothing's happening.
With twins.
Yeah. And they are digging into Michelle's background and they're digging into Angela's background.
Mm-hmm.
They find a really good friend of hers, actually, named Mary, who's like, oh, yeah. That bitch?
Let me tell you a little something.
Let me give you the tea on Angela. I actually have video of an intervention that me and her last boyfriend did for her because she spent months faking cervical cancer.
Compulsive liar.
Wow.
Oh my God. Like that kind of lying is like that pathological,
So
like,
extra.
there was somebody who was talking about how it's basically, like internet Munchausen.
Exactly.
Like that's
it's
a
Munchausen's,
thing
not Munchausen's by proxy.
Yeah,
but like
where they do it to yourself.
Yeah.
For attention. And even though the pregnancy is not an illness, it's the same effect. Like it's the same kind of
attention.
thing.
Attention, drama, attention. So, yeah. And dude, so I listened to the Dateline podcast on the way over here. And they play that video. And the guy's like, Angie, we know you don't have cancer.
Oh, no.
What was
like,
Angie's response?
She's like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Oh,
yeah, I do.
no.
Like,
just that is so strange.
she
that,
had like a hashtag Angie Warrior and like this chick's like son like had like this prayer group at school for her and everything.
That is so bizarre to me. And to like because I mean we talk about it a lot in these stories, but like what is your end game?
Exactly.
Like especially with the pregnancy, it's like this has to result in a baby.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just
at
like
some point. Yeah, that's like one of those people that ends up like kidnapping or doing crazy shit to justify their lies if they go far enough. I mean, yeah, it's insane. So basically like Ian in the meantime has found the sonograms were ordered from Etsy for $7.50.
Wow.
$7.50.
Where is that
the
Etsy
sonogram.
shop?
Yeah, exactly. For fake sonograms. He's found a box of pregnancy tests that were like altered with a pen to be positive. So he found all that. And and along with this knowledge, because the cervical cancer is just the tip of the iceberg. She's also like pretended to be an attorney, defrauded her last job out of like $2,000. Like he's like, oh, I need to annul this marriage.
Abort.
Exactly. Let's get out of here. And so yeah, they finally 88 days of being in prison. Jeez. They finally drop all the charges against Michelle. They do this huge press conference because they definitively find that the emails were coming from the condo, specifically Angela's cell phone.
Wow. Fucking wild.
Yeah.
Can you fucking imagine?
Did they compensate her for what they put her through? But like throwing her in jail?
She's suing. She's suing. This just happened a few years ago. So she's suing, and I'll get there too. So they get her out. They do this big press conference. She is the victim. So sorry. Because like the story had blown up. Like, look at this crazy ex-girlfriend. And like, of course, like media like hops in on it. It's like, ooh, cat fight. Like, ooh, look at her being crazy.
That thing is like, that is going to come up anytime anyone Googles
searches
you for the rest of your life.
If you search Michelle Hadley, that shit's coming up.
Yeah. Anytime you're trying to get a job, anytime you're trying to date somebody, like that is the first thing that's going to come up anytime anyone looks up your name for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's huge. She's finally out. It has left her with PTSD.
Of course.
She is dealing with it the best way that she can. And Angela was snapped up and basically took a plea deal and only has to do 5 years. And this bitch was she was looking life in prison in the face. I'm like,
how the fuck?
Exactly. But here is the coda to this story. What I think, and all the digging I did, I'm accusing Ian Diaz of being involved.
Really?
I think he had the motive because it's very suspicious to me that one day before the emails start was like when he was supposed to move out.
Oh, that's right.
There was details in that email that only Michelle and him
if Michelle was leaving them alone, basically. I mean, other than the condo, but like she wasn't threatening their relationship or anything like that. Why would Angela just start that stuff? Why make Michelle the target of that?
Correct.
Unless
I mean, it is possible she is like a kind of drama queen, of. She wants,
and if she wanted
attention.
to stay in the condo, it's possible.
Yeah, it is possible, but it's just there's the timing of things that are really tricky, and no one's really like looked into whether or not he was involved. But of course, he had a financial motivation to like, get out of it. And there's some stuff. The thing, the rape fantasy stuff was a fantasy of his. What? He got on Craigslist and did that with Michelle. So I'm like, it's just funny to me that coincidence exists too, that she would go on Craigslist and on that. I feel like he was involved in it with her.
But what is Angela saying about it? Like, is she, I mean, I feel like she would come out with it.
That's what her lawyer is saying that he was involved in it too. She was like, her lawyer, they touched on it a little bit in the Dateline thing. Her lawyer was like, we took the deal because it was a good deal. 5 years, you admit guilt and do your time. She was like, but someone needs to look into U.S. Deputy Marshal Ian Diaz, who is hiding behind the Blue Shield.
Wow.
And has gotten off scot-free from the whole thing. Has since sold the condo, and I'm sure like financially like profited.
That is so fucking infuriating to me. That is so fucking infuriating to me that he could profit from that. Like,
So Michelle Hadley brought up a suit in January of this year, actually, against the city of Anaheim Police Department for not thoroughly investigating it before they throw her in fucking jail and charge her with all this stuff and basically like ruin her life.
Right.
She's suing Angela Diaz and she's suing Ian because she's convinced that Ian is involved as well.
For sure.
So, we'll see what comes of that. But yeah, how bananas is that?
That one was on my list to do because I remember the day I watched that Dateline.
Yes.
I was like laying in bed. I was like kind of late. I was like a thing I was going to do right before like going to sleep. Put on my murder shows to fall asleep too.
Yeah. Right.
And I put that one on. I was riveted. Like I was awake the whole. I was like, oh my god, this is insanity.
Wild. Yeah.
It is like the emails are crazy.
They are crazy. They're like calling her like Lilith and like the daughters of God are gonna slay you and just like the bananas. Yeah.
Jesus.
Good job.
Yeah. Wow. So that's my crazy in love.
Crazy. It's diabolical.
It is. It's the Dateline episode's not Keith Morrison. It's that other dude that looks exactly like my Gigi. He's got like that that droopy dog face.
I know
you know,
exactly
with
who
the
you're
bright
talking
blue
about.
eyes.
Yes,
That old man. I like
yes.
him too. Yeah. So
they're
it's like,
all great.
They're all
Or
great.
Dateline daddies. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're great.
Oh
Daddy.
my God.
We'll do that. Fuck,
We
Marry,
need
Kill.
to do
With
that. Fuck,
with
Marry,
that,
Kill.
You know, droopy guy.
Then you got
and,
Lester
Holt and Keith Morrison.
Morrison.
Yeah, we'll do that
Oh,
next time.
yeah.
Because amazing.
Like Gigi.
Looks like my Gigi.
He really does.
Oh wow.
So what are you guys watching this week? Anything good?
You're going to be infuriated by this. I told Cassie and she was angry. So we finally finished Handmaid's Tale and it was good. And then we were waiting to finish Handmaid's Tale before we could start Mindhunter. So the next day I was like, let's watch Mindhunter. And it was, we started it at like 7 or like 7:30. Anthony almost fell asleep. I had to keep like hitting him to like be like, hey,
No.
wake up. Like,
How
what
dare
are you
you.
doing? I deeply offended.
I am
Yeah.
too. Actually.
Deeply offended because I enjoyed it. But after that, he was like, I'm just so tired. I have to watch something else. So we couldn't keep, like, I haven't been able to watch more than one episode of Mindhunter.
Oh my God.
I have to wait for him.
And furthermore, you've waited long enough. You've waited long enough.
Enough.
You know what I want to check out? I haven't checked it out yet, though, is Succession. I've
Oh,
heard that's so
on
good.
my list. It's on my list to watch
Yeah,
as well.
I
And I want to watch
wanna-
The Righteous Gemstones. There's like so much
Yeah.
shit I want to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so I watched one episode of Mindhunter and then I started Peaky Blinders, which is good. I have to have the subtitles on because I can't understand what any of them are saying. But God fucking damn it if Cillian Murphy is not the
He
hottest
is,
man on the planet. Like he's
really
so hot.
He's very
hot.
angular.
I
looking,
love
and I'm
a
okay.
sharp. I love a sharp
face.
cheekbone.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
And
my
piercing
there's my
eyes.
thing. Eyes and cheekbones. Gorge. Yeah,
Nice.
and he has both. He's got beautiful eyes.
Nice.
So anyway, he's very hot in that show, and I am enjoying it. Yeah, it's a good show. So
Cool.
Chris and I just started watching the final season of The Good Place. Finally,
Oh, I love
It's
that
the
show.
final
It's so
season.
cute.
Oh man, it's
I haven't
so
I
seen
love
it.
Janet.
I do too.
She's my
She's so
fave.
good.
She's
the whole
so
show,
funny.
I love.
It's a really good show.
I know,
actually.
I know. You see, look at all these shows that are on my list.
I know.
of like shows
Yeah.
to watch.
Good Place is a good like palate cleanser.
Oh,
you
it
know
is.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I
I
need
always
to
try
watch it
to
with
find
Anthony.
like a fun show
It's
to
great.
watch to put in between like murder stuff.
between Mindhunter.
Yeah.
Mindhunter
Exactly.
was so good though. Oh, I can't wait for the next season already.
I know.
And that was like just came out. So, it's the only bad thing about like binging a show like that. Then you're like,
Right. You're like,
I'm ready now.
Now
Next.
I have like 2 years to
Yeah.
wait for the next one.
yeah. So we've been. That's what we've been watching. I like it. Oh, I do want to talk about the thing that we found on Facebook, which is a group where we pretend to be baby boomers. It
It's kind of a dumpster fire.
is a
It's a
total dumpster fire.
huge dumpster fire. Oh
But it is
my
fucking
god!
cracks me up.
When
so
people
much.
do it right,
Yes.
it is very funny.
When
but
pe-
there are
yes.
some people on it that are like, I'm like, is there something wrong with you? Like,
Yeah, because there were like when I first got in it, I was like, this is the best thing of all time. This is so fucking funny because when it's done right and people are commenting as boomers, which we all know what like a person who doesn't know how to use the internet, boomer, like what their comments look like.
locks on.
Cap locks, lots of commas, things
Yeah.
aren't spelled right, no apostrophes. You know, it's hilarious. But there are some threads on there that I'm like, are we pretending right now? Or are we
you being serious?
Are you guys being serious?
You're not
in
putting
here?
the out of context.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel I feel weird about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a couple groups like that. There's like where I enjoy it half the time and the other half the time I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because the wedding shaming group is like that too, where I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. It's intense.
The wedding shaming group is very like
I
that.
live for dirty deletes though.
Oh,
That's
yes.
so fun.
Oh yes, that is fun. when
Yeah,
you
there
can
was
get
one
in
on
before.
Drinkerinos the other night. Yay.
Yeah.
Or what about that thing I that was from the boomer group, the thing I tagged you guys in where it was like pages and pages of the conversation between Cheyenne and Sarah
Oh, yes.
Lang
Yes.
and her boyfriend.
Yeah.
We're like, because they're like, it was like Cheyenne and Josh or whatever his name is are engaged, and then
Yeah.
like in the comments she's like, she's like, we're very happy, but Sarah Lang's a cunt or whatever. And then Sarah Lang gets in there.
She's like, oh, really, bitch?
Excuse me?
I got some tea to spill.
Yeah, I was definitely hashtag Team Sarah through the whole thing. I was like,
And then strangers.
She tags her fucking dad. She's like, help.
Take care of it. And he doesn't. And then someone goes into his page and screenshots that he's friends with Sarah Lang.
So good.
It's so good. And then someone made a group just full of screenshots and comments from that thread.
That's amazing.
Oh God,
So
the
good.
internet's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it can be definitely a fun dive. Wow. Well, if you've got stories, you want to reach out, we're constantly seeking stories. So whatever you got, I hope we uncovered some memories for you today. You can send it to myworstdatepodcast@gmail.com, or even easier, go to our one-stop shop of a website at myworstdatepodcast.com. You can join our Patreon. You can join our Facebook group. You can hang out with us virtually until we can go on tour and hang out in real life. And thank you so much for listening. We love you guys. Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.